A wild weather weekend in the Charleston area this week, but the rain and storm is gone, and we are ready for some USL Championship action from Patriots Point. It's the Charleston Battery and Memphis 901. Today's match is presented by Gildan. With the former U.S. Women's National Team midfielder Casey White, I'm Josh Eastern. The Eastern Conference standings in Charleston still within striking distance of the top. They have a couple more games played than Louisville City, but they are looking to jump Louisville potentially with 3 points tonight. In the Western Conference right now, Memphis, they're also in third spot and also within striking distance of the top. The Charleston Battery, they have been in great form as of late. They've scored 15 goals in their last 6, 5 of them against Indy.
And 5 different goal scorers for Charleston. It was a great bounce-back win after their loss to the Rowdies. And just when you have that many players clicking in the attacking third, that bodes well for the rest of your games coming up.
A 5-0 win for the Battery. They are in fine form as we get into the final third of the season. A big reason for that form is striker M.D. Myers scored his first goal since his hat trick at the end of June.
And Myers is a player that's very essential to this attack. He can play back to goal, but also has the ability to go forward. 10 goals and 2 assists so far in this season. He'll be crucial in this matchup tonight.
For Memphis 901 midfielder Bruno Lapa, he'll be helping to lead the line tonight without Marlon.
He will, and this is a player in midfield that just does really well between the lines, really provides that connection between the holding mids and the front line, but with 7 goals of his own as well.
We are building you up to first kick tonight from Patriots Point. A beautiful night in the Charleston area, and we are ready for East versus West. It's the Charleston Battery and Memphis 901. We'll have lineups and first kick on the way from Patriots Point.
Charleston is located in the low country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else.
This place is magical.
It's for the way you look. Oh, it's for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you.
Back at Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, it's the Charleston Battery and Memphis 901 FC building you up to first kick. A pleasant Saturday evening as we get set for some USL Championship action. Tonight for Charleston, head coach Ben Pierman still suspended, so will be acting head coach Devin Rensing. It's just the one change, and it comes in goal.
And Grinwitz does come back into the game. Smith and Archer also, that pair in the center back role is really important to the way Charleston defends. The midfield of Ikaza, expect him to play kind of in an 8 role, joining the attack with Rodriguez as Allen is underneath. And then the three up front of Torres, Myers, and Marcanic, they all three can find ways to create opportunities.
And these lineups presented by Michelob Ultra. For Memphis 901 FC and Stephen Glass coming off a 0-0 draw against El Paso. The big absence tonight is Marlon and his co-team leading 7 goals.
And Pickering will come into that role up top in the 9 position as the lone striker with 3 very capable players underneath in Fernando, Lapa, and Hindman. But watch for Turchi and Sissoko in the center back roles. Very physical center backs there, like to step aggressively, and that'll cause potentially some problems for the Charleston Battery attack.
Well, we are just about set for first kick here tonight in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And this area was in the path of Tropical Storm and then eventually it turned into a Hurricane Debbie this week. They received nearly 16 inches of rain in about 4 days this week. So the efforts get the field ready and the facility ready was no small feat from Charleston, and everybody working hard to get it done, and we applaud all of them for doing so. Just to put that in perspective, Charleston receives about 46 inches of rain in the year. They receive 16 inches in 4 days, so about a third of it coming this week.
A well-deserved break for Charleston, but it's absolute insanity to get that much rain, and for them to have this in a good condition for the players to come back in just says a lot about what they can do.
And it is a very good evening tonight. 85 degrees, a bit humid as it is this time of year, but we are just about set for first kick tonight. That is our referee. Nabil Ben Salah will be the man in the middle tonight. Charleston side coming off that 5-0 win against Indy 11. They are in a great goal-scoring form right now as they come into play tonight. 16 goals in their last 5. For Memphis, it's quite the opposite. They have struggled to get things going in front of goal. They've only scored 3 goals in their last 5 games. This is the only matchup in 2024 between Memphis and Charleston, as we'll get into throughout the game. Plenty of threads between these two clubs, including Ben Pierman against his former club, although he's not technically in the coaching box tonight.
We're good to go. We're good to go. All right, Battery fans, we need you loud here at Ralph London Field. Countdown to kickoff with me.
Just waiting on the whistle from our referee. We can get this one underway tonight.
3, 2, 1, criteria.
It is the 7th all-time meeting between the Charleston Battery and Memphis 901, and we are underway tonight from Patriots Point. And already Bruno Lapa and Memphis try to get something going early. A sliding challenge by Leland Archer will get this out of harm's way. Memphis coming off the 0-0 draw against El Paso last time out, a home match. As we just mentioned, the goal scoring has been a bit of a struggle for them as of late. But as Stephen Glass said in his press conference this week, they've been very potent in their attack. He said, though, we want to concentrate on ourselves because we've been very good defensively. So you have that good defense for Memphis going up against one of the most in-form attacks in Charleston, the entire USL Championship.
And that makes for a really interesting matchup because you'll see what's going to break. Is Charleston going to be able to continue that attack, or is it going to be too stingy defensively from Memphis? Or is Memphis going to have to open up a little bit more and try to get more goals, and that in turn opens up things on the opposite end?
And Memphis 3 clean sheets in their last 4 games. Now, they have been very solid defensively, but 3 of the last 4 have all finished 1-0. A couple of wins, a loss, and then the 0-0 draw last time out. Charleston still without Aaron Malloy, who we saw before the game, a big brace on his knee. He'll be out for the next few weeks, and they hope to get him back by the end of the season come playoff time. We'll see how that goes, but in the meantime, filling in the midfield, Chris Allen, the former Memphis player, now in his 2nd season with Charleston, and Emilio Icaza has slid into more of a defensive role tonight for the Battery.
And it can't be stated too much how big of a loss Malloy is for the time being, but Allen and Icaza are a really good pairing in there. Allen just understands his role, kind of staying in that central spot in the holding mid role, and Icaza covers a lot of ground. So just a little bit different look for midfield, but still a very talented one.
And Devin Rensing, the acting head coach, not the first time he's been in this position this year, including last week as well. Chase down the loose ball, a lunging challenge put in by Carriaga, and maybe an early decision here from the referee.
It's just a loose ball right here. Carriaga isn't able to keep it in the middle third, and just a late challenge as he comes across left foot, pretty high on the challenge there in midfield.
Be a little bit lucky not to see yellow card, maybe time on his side, not even 3 minutes into this game. Here's Allen. And Charleston just trying to get on the ball here early. Some pressure. And all the way back to Adam Grinwis. It was Christian Garner who got the start last week, is basically with the club for, as Ben Pierman put it, 24 hours coming in from Greenville. They needed a goalkeeper. It was Garner to fill in, post a clean sheet. That's a pretty good showing coming in on loan. A couple players getting tangled up away from the ball. The injury report is presented by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. As we mentioned, Aaron Malloy is out still for Charleston. Nico Brett, he's out for the season as well for Memphis. Was a big off-season signing, one of the top goal scorers in USL Championship history. Right now, it's Nick Markanek who's on the ball here. That has been a man who's been scoring the goals this year in the USL Championship, the first to 20 in the league. Here's Graham Smith, his first game against his former club. Smith spent the last 2 seasons with Memphis 901, one of those under Ben Pierman while playing with Memphis. Pass off the mark, looking for Arturo Rodriguez. Memphis trying to play through the middle. Luis Fernando will move it out wide, and it's Quezada.
It's a good recovery there from the battery as they look to go forward. Memphis looks to try to counterattack quickly, but really good defensive shape as they go through. Even though that one goes out of bounds, you can see how quickly the battery want to break going forward.
Stephen Glass in his 2nd season with Memphis, formerly a head coach with Aberdeen in Scotland, and also a couple of years with Atlanta United 2 when they were still in the USL Championship. So familiar with this league. It's Memphis' first season playing in the Western Conference. They finished top 4 in the East the last 3 seasons. Last year they lost in penalty kicks in the conference quarterfinals against Louisville. Here's Heineman, gonna play through the middle into the setting sun here in Charleston. Across the bay from Charleston here in Mount Pleasant. Luis Fernando. Tries to cut it infield. He continues his run. He gets the ball back. The shot blocked by Smith. And Segber's looking for an outlet. Charleston trying to get it out, and they do. Over the top, Zach Duncan able to hold on to it. Carriaga and now Heineman. Good matchup in the middle tonight between Charleston and Memphis. Fernando able to win that back again for Memphis. And they're on the ball here early on. Bruno Lapa trying his luck. Lapa just wide. Thought it was deflected. He won't get that wish, and it's out for a goal kick.
Well, Lapa's very good in his midfield third, just on the ball constantly, finding new spaces, getting in seams, takes this little bit of area right there in front of the back line as they start to drop and collapse a little bit. Just comes across it a little bit too much, but it's a good early opportunity for Memphis.
7 goals this season in the USL Championship. He's almost at his season career high of 8. He got that in his rookie season with Birmingham. He scored 8 goals in, remember that was a shortened season, so 17 matches. Part of a USL Championship first team season for Lapa a few years back. Broken up, but a foul and another free kick going the way of Memphis. Talking with Ben Pierman about the game last week against Indy 11, he said maybe it was a bit of a slow first half, but said the energy really picked up in the second half. That's when they got the majority of their goals. And look at a 5-0 scoreline. That pretty much is a perfect day at the office.
And one of the things he really liked was that they didn't take their foot off the gas when that was happening. Although the goals came in the second half, all 5 of them, 5 different goal scorers, and they just continued to attack and be relentless. And that definitely was something he was excited to see from his group.
Team that has been pretty much up towards the top, if not the top, of the Eastern Conference all season long. We're hoping that Sacramento can help them out tonight. Sacramento and Louisville going at it 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Duncan trying to go over the top and all the way down the line. Dos Santos and Quezada chasing after it. Dos Santos uses his body well to win the goal kick for Charleston.
It's great defensive work from Dos Santos, and we're already seeing it from Memphis. They like to get in that big, expansive shape and really try to get their outside backs forward and make teams defend against them. So that's something they're going to continue to look for here in the first half.
Devin Rensing battling the sun as he's looking into it, with Charleston trying to play out. This is played over the top and too far for the run of Segbers, who got himself into a forward position. Here's Quezada and Luis Fernando. Right start for Memphis tonight as they look to switch the point of attack, and that pass is well off the mark.
Well, early on, it's pretty obvious. Both of these teams want to get in the wide spaces, try to get their outside backs forward, get their wingers on the ball. There's just some technical breakdowns so far, but you get the kind of feeling that it's going to be a battle of the outside back versus the winger right now in that space, and who can create those overloads and execute more cleanly.
This is a Memphis side that, without a player like Marlon, who has a co-leading 7 goals this year, he also has chipped in 5 assists. We talked about it before the game. That front line could be pretty fluid for Memphis tonight.
Absolutely, and we're already seeing that Fernando likes to come inside a little bit, and you've seen Lapa go in a lot of different directions. So with those 4 up top, it really can be unpredictable.
Smith through the middle for Chris Allen, and he has room to progress forward. Kaza as Charleston trying to work it forward for the first time tonight. This team that is scoring goals for fun this year. No shots through almost 11 minutes now. Here's Akaza and Markanek. Move it out wide for Segbers. Trying the return ball, gets all the way to the end line. The tackle is out of play, and a corner kick is on the way.
And this is really good interchange right there, because Charleston pulls the holding mids out of their area where they want to defend, find that wide space, and Markanek with a great run in behind.
Corner kick is brought to you by the Pepper Law Firm, the official legal services partner of the Charleston Battery.
All right, let's hear you make some noise out there. It's a corner kick coming up for your Charleston Battery.
An in-swinger from the far side. Juan David Torres stands over it. Torres lifting this one in. Back post header, saved! Tristan Henry called in action for the first time tonight.
And Graham Smith comes really late on this one, a late run. There's 5 players in the 6-yard box. What a save right there from Henry. It just doesn't get down to the ground quick enough, but still a really good effort from Smith. I thought that one was in the back of the net.
Henry making just his 3rd start. This is another Pepper Law Firm corner kick. Arturo Rodriguez, another in-swinger, and Henry there to punch it away. Another chance by Allen, and this over the bar.
Another in-swinging corner kick from Rodriguez. Again, trying to test Henry. Henry does well, punches this one out. Allen really has that look at goal, but it goes over, and Memphis will go the other way.
Tristan Henry coming over from Forge FC in the Canadian Premier League, where he spent the last 5 seasons, and Forge has been one of the best teams in the Canadian Premier League. They've qualified for CONCACAF Champions Cup. They played in CONCACAF League, so he's played in some big games against international competition, bringing that experience here to Memphis and unseating Tyler Derrick as the starting goalkeeper. No small feat. Derrick, a very experienced player in his own right. Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas. To catch the match, visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point. Another great atmosphere here at Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant. Charleston. Torres plays it over the top. It's knotted down. Marcanic was looking for Myers and headed clear as far as Emilio Acaza. Cut back. Arturo Rodriguez finds some width. Torres gets the cross in. Spilled in front. Henry blocked it from going any further. And Memphis get it out for a throw-in.
A lot of good interchange right here. I love this ball to the back post area and isolates Torres on this left side. Henry with a good save. If not for Sissoko, there could have been a second chance.
You go about 11.5 minutes without any sort of attacking opportunities, and now you can see how quickly Charleston can come to life and with so many different options. Already a couple of double-digit goal scorers with Marcanic at 20 and MD Myers with half of that at 10. Through the middle, Torres the shot, and nothing there for Tristan Henry as he sees it out of play.
And with the way Memphis is defending, they're defending in that 4-4-2 block. The more possession that Charleston gets, there's some opportunities to find Rodriguez and Acaza between the lines of the 2 6s and between the back line and midfield. Those balls that are breaking lines are going to be really dangerous for Charleston as the half goes on.
Switch of play, that's off the mark. Marcanic trying to spring Segbers forward again. Akeem Ward has to come over. Trying to see this out of play. Segbers is deemed to have committed a foul. Two very experienced outside backs going up against each other on that far side. Akeem Ward, who has been a pro for quite some time with DC United, North Carolina, Oakland, RGV, now in his 2nd year with Memphis. Mark Segbers, formerly a Memphis player, also with Orange County, Swope Park Rangers, Miami FC. Charleston looking for a way out. Luis Fernandez, bit of pressure to force a throw in.
We talk about Lapa's attacking ability, but a lot of defensive work for him too up top.
Beautiful sunset here. They got the column after the storm. Is that what it's supposed to be?
I think so.
Such a great setting at Patriots Point. If you've never been to a game here, put it on your USL Championship bucket list. Now it's Memphis' turn to get on the ball, looking to build forward.
You can see Cariaga looking for that change of point, always looking for the outside back getting forward, but to be fair, Battery shut it down pretty quickly.
Quezada. There's Cariaga, lifting it out wide. Akeem Ward has gotten forward. Ward trying to get end line, gets the cross in, maybe a second chance at it. It'll be chased down to the corner by Marcanic. Charleston not able to keep it. Duncan. And Cariaga. Lapa trying to return it. He gets it out wide for Akeem Ward. Ward goes to ground and keeps play alive. Connecting at the top of the area with Duncan. Quezada. Extended possession here, and the shot from distance is saved. Grinwis denying Lapa.
It's a really good, patient possession in the final third from Memphis. Charleston shut down a lot of opportunities that were going on. Right here, Quezada does find Lapa right in that space. There's only about a yard of distance, but look at the save from Adam Grinwis. Just puts it over the top. Otherwise, that one's going in the top corner.
A corner kick here. It's a Pepper Law Firm corner kick. First of the game for Memphis. It's an in-swinger, played to the back post. There was a runner coming in, but Leland Archer got up to it first. Throw in for Memphis. It's been a decent start for the roadside tonight. Bruno Lapa for Duncan. Has a look for goal. The shot was scuffed and blocked. Quezada lays it off. Another chance deflected into the middle. Knight Pickering bouncing into the arms of Adam Grinwis.
And Memphis is just committing so many numbers into that attacking final third that things are just popping to them. This one to Pickering goes out, just doesn't get enough power on that one, but I like what Memphis is doing. A lot of numbers around the box, committing Ward and Quezada up top, and it's just really hard for the Battery to get out.
Charleston is a team that has the highest average possession in the USL Championship this season. They average just a shade over 57% per game. You look at this Charleston side, maybe that's not something that sticks out to you a whole lot just because you see their goal scoring record and that's what jumps off the page, but they can also put it on the deck and keep the ball.
Well, when you have a goal differential of 27, it's pretty staggering, and that's what you pay attention to. But that's definitely something that Ben Pierman wants to see, them keeping the ball, especially in their own attacking half. And they have to be patient with it, move the ball side to side, enjoy possession, and really try to shift the defense of Memphis.
Get into a wide position with Segbers, and they'll earn a corner kick out of it. It's a Pepper Law Firm corner.
And that's better, though, from the Battery right there. They want to get into that midfield third and make Memphis have to collapse a little bit more than we've seen so far in this first half.
All right, Battery fans, out of your seats, stomp your feet. It's a Pepper Law Firm corner kick coming up for your Charleston Battery.
Arturo Rodriguez standing over it again. He's been the player that's come into this lineup and shifted things around because of the injury of Aaron Malloy. Rodriguez delivers, looking for Marcanic. It was flicked away. Torres just trying to fire it back in. He gets a second chance, gets end line, and that is a great defensive play by Sissoko on his backside.
Well, and the tackle from Ward right before that as well. I mean, committing to that so that opportunity doesn't go on frame. It's great defending, but great cover from Sissoko as well.
Corner kick for your Charleston Battery. Make some noise.
Pepper Law Firm corner kick coming. Torres, the out-swinging ball. Tracked down by Chris Allen. Sure, Rodriguez just tries to lift it in. Ikaza couldn't keep it alive. Nobody there is an outlet player for Memphis.
The first step for Charleston is just keeping his possession, which is good that they're doing this now. Now it's the speed of play. How quickly can they move the ball through this midfield third?
Rodriguez connects with Dos Santos. Torres getting in behind, firing it across. Nobody was making that back post run, although it's kept alive on the very far side. And out for a goal kick.
And you can just see the organization on the runs. MD Myers just comes a little bit too quickly across to that near post, so not timed well in this moment, but it's good interchange right there, an underlapping run from Torres. MD Myers too close, no one on the backside.
Sissoko for Quezada, and Memphis look to build out. Carriaga through the lines. Touched away, but collected by Duncan. Moves it out wide for Akeem Ward. Ward's delivery. Looked into the middle, Quezada. Luis Fernando is too tall for Knight Pickering. And Leland Archer gets it out for Nick Marcanic. And Charleston might look to run here. Advantage being played. Torres. Back for Arturo Rodriguez. Tries to turn the corner on Turchi. And the referee will bring this back. It will be a yellow card. I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
And that's a good decision by the center official. There was an attacking transition that was so on for the Charleston Battery, so the yellow card is well deserved. But I was just about to say how Memphis was really organized defensively high up, but it was a great break from them.
Referee wants a word with Tristan Henry.
It's really well done in this counter-attacking transition. Torres finds Rodriguez. Good feet right there to try to get around. It was that second touch that he could have been in behind, and then having a runner on the far side. Look to see if it would amount to anything. It didn't. Brings it back and gives the yellow.
Bruno Lapa in a conversation with the referee. I think it's a discussion of where the free kick should be.
Let's hear you make some noise. It's a free kick coming up.
A free kick on the way for Charleston. Juan David Torres stands over it.
Seems like a pretty straightforward foul for a lot of the conversation that's going on right now as they're organizing this, but I think getting the yellow card is something they really have to be aware of. The center backs of Memphis are very aggressive to step in that space behind the holding mid, so that could affect the way they do that.
Turchi partnering with Sissoko tonight in central defense. It's a three-man wall in front of Tristan Henry. This is Torres to go for goal. It was dipping. It was spilled by Henry, but he still collects it. No harm done, but a yellow card still to Lucas Turchi for Memphis. The first yellow card issued tonight.
The yellow card issued in the 26th minute to Memphis 901 SC was on number 8, Louis Turchi.
Santos couldn't collect it. Torres could neither. Luis Fernando. There might be something opening up here for Memphis. Akeem Ward coming forward. Ward tries to cut this infield. Ward goes for goal, blocked by Smith. Charleston can look for a way out with Torres. Broken up again. Duncan, the Australian, steps in. Finds Akeem Ward again. Trying to break lines. Luis Fernando, the return ball, never got to its intended target. Now Mark Kanek.
And Charleston just having a really hard time playing out. There's really nobody underneath MD Myers when balls are played forward. So just getting that connection between the midfield and the front line really going to be important because Memphis is committing a lot of numbers forward. They're putting 2 and 3 players right on the center backs of the Charleston Battery and causing some issues for them.
Going to ground. And Nick Markanek will see himself into the book. A yellow card to Nick Markanek for that challenge.
We talked about it being a battle of the outside backs versus the wingers. Markanek's having to come all the way back into midfield, just comes in very late on the challenge. But when your wingers having to be all the way back here, it means the other team is doing something right. And that's a tough challenge there in midfield on Lapa.
Markanek into the book. A couple of yellow cards in the last couple of minutes tonight. For Grinwis as we pass the half-hour mark. Still no goals. And Kaza getting out of some trouble, and Charleston look to keep possession now.
And if Charleston's going to advance this, the center backs are going to have to take space against these 2 front runners and get into this outside area and just try to draw someone out. Because right now it's just a little bit of a slower speed of play to go forward.
There's Akaza as Charleston get it back. Arturo Rodriguez. Here's Dos Santos. Smith is trying to saunter forward. He floats it out wide for Torres, and the flag is up for offside.
But it was better from Smith there, just looking for dribbling into the midfield space to find that.
Because of the temperature tonight, there is a hydration break here. 31.5 minutes in, still no score between Charleston and Memphis. The Battery are back at Patriots Point on Saturday, August 24th, facing Orange County. Tickets are available now via SeatGeek, the Battery's exclusive ticket provider. Get your tickets now and save up to $10 per seat when you buy in advance. Head to tickets.charlestonbattery.com today. No score here between Charleston and Memphis. The lone matchup in 2024 between these two sides. And you can't fault Charleston for looking ahead to next week. They have a big one on the schedule, visiting Louisville City, which could go a long way in deciding who wins the Eastern Conference, but you can't look past Memphis. This is the team that has the most goals in the Western Conference, and they're proving to be a tough team tonight.
And it's tough not to look at a game that's coming up, especially because Charleston does not have the games in hand. Louisville City does, so that's a big matchup. But like you said, Memphis has had the better of the play, in my opinion, so far in this evening. Charleston's done all right and generated a few attacks, but Memphis looks like they're ready to play, so they certainly don't want to look past them. Otherwise, it makes it a little bit harder going into that Louisville City game.
It's also a Memphis team that's trying to climb the Western Conference standings. They came into the night just 6 points off of first place, although with also a couple more games played than New Mexico United, although New Mexico has lost a couple in a row. The latter portion of this first half. And right now, Charleston, Memphis level on shots with 5 apiece, and both with 2 shots on target. A little bit for Devin Rensing to think about. We asked Ben Pierman about Devin Rensing, and he said he did a great job last week. 5-0 win on his CV now. But he says they've known each other for 15 years, and everybody's all on the same page, whether it's the coaching staff, the players, all the way through the front office here at Charleston. Back to play, a free kick for Memphis as they get it rolling again. Akeem Ward. There's Lapa, back for Ward. Nothing doing, and now Arturo Rodriguez. Having a tough time playing out our Charleston right now.
Well, Alvaro Quezada right there is tucked in so central, so that counter-pressing moment when they do lose possession, Memphis earning it back right away, and they can reestablish possession quickly.
Quezada, who has been in and out of the lineup so far this season. Oscar Jimenez, another player that is in his first season with Memphis, out tonight. Lapa trying to move this in behind for Luis Fernando. He keeps hold of the ball. The cross was too tall, looking for Heinman making the central run. It's still available. Quezada. Laid off for Duncan. And now Akeem Ward. Ward's delivery, headed away again. Quezada trying to cut it infield, lays it off. Lapa, shot blocked, and a corner kick coming for Memphis. Second corner kick of the game for Memphis. It's a Pepper Law Firm corner kick.
This corner kick brought to you by Pepper Law Firm.
Samuel Carriaga will take this. Carriaga, the in-swinger to the near post. They couldn't get it by the first man at Kaza. Akeem Ward playing this over the top. It bounces once and into the arms of Grinwis. Again, it was Heinman making that run.
I'm not really sure what Archer was doing there, but there was enough pace on that ball that it went all the way to Grinwis, but Heinman almost was able to get on it.
I wonder if the goalkeeper may have called for that, called him off. You can always only
you would think
do
so,
what you
right?
hear from your goalkeeper.
Exactly, you got to trust that. So if it did happen, then they definitely knew what was going on then.
A free kick given and a yellow card. It looks like it's a yellow card to Akeem Ward.
ball just played in right here, and it bounces down off of his hand. It's Turchi. And Turchi did get that first yellow for the challenge in midfield. Right here, it just pops up for the handball. I'm going to be honest, that doesn't look intentional to me. The ball is going in behind him, but still, it's given.
So I thought that was the key, Mort. He went up to the referee right away as is trying to vouch for Turchi, but it is a yellow card to Turchi, who has been given his marching orders, and now Memphis are down to 10. Gonna have to agree with you. I'm not so sure that was second yellow card worthy.
I think it's incredibly harsh in that moment. It's in a wide enough space where it's not blocking going in on goal. They have their back line that's in a place where they're structured. It bounces up. His arm is next to his side. Yes, it's bent, but I think it's a pretty harsh second yellow in that moment. But we talked about it earlier. He had that reckless challenge in midfield that he really didn't need to have on Rodriguez, got the yellow, and we talked about maybe you can't be as aggressive to step now that you're on that yellow card, and it puts Memphis in a precarious situation.
This is a Memphis team now with the most red cards in the USL Championship this season. This is their 6th red card. They come in with the most yellow cards as well with 71. I guess you could say they're used to it.
Right?
Now, this is not a team that you want to be playing with just 10 men against. And now a free kick for Charleston. Arturo Rodriguez delivers. Henry the punch away. Dos Santos, centering pass for Chris Allen. Segbers delivers it back out wide, headed down. And now Lapa and Memphis will look to counter.
Really good feet from Hyndman there to keep possession, and it's going to be interesting to see how this changes things. I assume Memphis will go into a 4-4-1 defensively, which means there'll just be a lot of work for either Hyndman or Lapa, who they keep up top, pressing the center backs of the Charleston Battery.
We'll see if Stephen Glass wants to go to his bench at some point. It's already a bit of a short bench tonight for Memphis. Tulu out of the lineup. It's another center back, so I probably think the lone defender on the bench, Carson Vom Steeg, might be called upon at some point. This might be a situation, just get to halftime and then figure it out from there.
Well, and temporarily, Duncan has gone into a center back role alongside Sissoko, with Hyndman now on the ball in midfield. So that's been the immediate change, but you're right. Going into the second half, you have to think about, okay, what's going to be best for them going forward and trying to still make Charleston uncomfortable, but not leak any goals.
It's floated over the top, off the chest, Marcanic scores! He is on a tear through the USL Championship. Goal 21 and 1-0 to the Battery.
And that is a goal from a player that is in form. There's just no doubt about this one from Marcanic. What a great ball from Torres. Just takes a quick look. It's brought down right off the chest and immediately full volley before it hits the ground, before Ward can recover. This is in a transition moment when Memphis is up. They're not in their defending block. What a finish with the left foot from Marcanic.
Goal number 21 on the season. And nobody is stopping him right now. He is on some sort of tear. Another great goal streak going for him. He has scored now 9 in his last 8 games. He had a similar 9-goal streak back in April and May. But that was only in 5 games.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible the form that he is in, but here, you predicted it, Vom Steeg right here on the sideline, but for Marcanic, man, the form that he is in right now, and just his first touch to set himself up, just really good.
And the substitution is Carson Vom Steeg for Emerson Hyndman. Always unfortunate when you're that player that has to be sacrificed, but it looks like maybe something bothering Hyndman, holding that left hamstring as he comes off.
Well, you would think they would try to get to halftime, but it looked like he was walking a little gingerly, so they went ahead and went with it. But, it's a really big change of fortunes for Memphis, because Memphis started really well. They forced that really tough save from Grinwis, a few things in behind. But Charleston last week against Indy 11 as well didn't score until the 52nd minute. This one coming in the 41st. They're very patient. Even though it wasn't the best start from them, they have players that are difference makers.
Charleston have played a couple of games now over the last few weeks where there have been players sent off. They had their own goalkeeper sent off against Tampa Bay a couple of weeks ago. That was a 4-2 loss, and the 2-2 draw against Hartford back on July 12th. Both their goals came after the player was sent off, and same thing goes for that 5-2 win against North Carolina, where the red card really changed things in that game, as Torres slices this shot well out of play. The USL Summer of Soccer continues on CBS Sports Network with a Western Conference matchup of the top versus the bottom. High-flying Sacramento hosting El Paso Locomotive side, looking to climb up the standings. It's August 14th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network.
Fans, earlier a substitution for Memphis 901 FC in the 40th minute. Now in number 3, Carson Von Steen. Out from Memphis 901 FC, number 4, Emerson Franklin.
Lucas Turchi sent off in the 39th minute. Nick Marcanic scores in the 41st minute. Doesn't take long for this game to really change tonight. Here's Dos Santos. Gonna play it down the line. A foul against Dos Santos. You'd probably say before that red card, you could argue Memphis was playing, or this game was going the way they wanted it to.
I would agree with that. They had the majority of possession that was dangerous, that turned into opportunities. Their outside backs were more often than not in the attacking final third for them, both Ward and Quezada. So it really was against the run of play. Yes, Charleston created a couple corner kicks, a couple, semi-good opportunities, but nothing that really looked like it was going to threaten until they went down to 10 players and got that great goal.
This is a Memphis team that's 4th in the USL Championship with 17 first-half goals. The team that has the most first-half goals is the team they're playing tonight with the Charleston Battery. They have now 22. Foul and a free kick as Arturo Rodriguez is tripped up. Stoppage time is 3 minutes tonight. Stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. A free kick for Charleston. Ekaza. Torres driving in field, quick passing, Chris Allen cuts it back. It was just too far out in front of Marcanic. That would have been a beautiful goal, still might be. Ekaza, shot blocked.
And you're right, that goal would have been absolutely incredible just with the interchange, creating a 3v2 in the wide space with Allen continuing his run. Just beautiful play. The timing off a little bit on the runs there, but good from the Charleston Battery in the wide space.
Midway through the minimum of 3 minutes. That's a foul. It will go Memphis's way. I think he's trying to relieve some of this pressure that has been coming right at them for the last 15 or so minutes.
And Charleston has to be a little bit careful because Memphis is going to look for any way to get back in the game. And that set piece there is not going to make a big difference because it's in their defending half. But the only way Memphis really gets back in this is if they counterattack, transition is at really quick pace, or if they get some sort of set piece. Because they are down a player, it's so much more difficult to generate it.
Over the top, and again, it's taken by Grinwis. Ekaza. Torres right through the middle. Nick Marcanic's in, but the flag is up for offside. Surely been a penalty, it looked, but the flag negates all of it.
It was incredibly close, but again, just that 1- and 2-touch passing around the final third is really boding well for the Battery. It's a great little ball, and it's hard to really tell there. That could have been a foul if it had not been called for the offside, but just very, very close margins right around the penalty area.
Nearly at halftime. Just waiting on the referee and his whistle. There it is. First half has come and gone. And this game over the last 10 minutes has really taken a turn. Memphis reduced to 10. 2 minutes later, Nick Marcanic with goal 21.
And you really just don't know how the game of soccer is going to go because Memphis started in such a bright way, but Marcanic was the man of the first half with a great goal, great touch, and Charleston finds a way back into this one.
We have reached the break from Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Our score, it's the Charleston Battery 1 and Memphis 901 0.
Innovation means training tomorrow's leaders in the latest technologies, because we know the next idea to change the future of medicine may well come from them. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they've always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
Innovation means developing novel therapies for patients today and taking the first steps toward life-changing discoveries decades in the future. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
When you know that you're finally home, and that long stretch of road falls behind that line. Won't stop, don't stop, believe and tell me what you want, I want you see it. 'Cause right here, right now, you can be anybody.
One 0 is our score. The Charleston Battery lead it over Memphis 901 FC. Some good action around the USL Championship tonight. A full slate of games, as this is one of now 4 games in progress tonight in the USL. Charleston leading Memphis by a goal to 0. This is what else is going on around the league. Right now, North Carolina is leading Colorado Springs by a goal to 0. And Rhode Island also leading Hartford by a goal to 0. This is all action going on right now. There is still a game tonight on ESPN2. It'll be Louisville City and Sacramento Republic. This is all brought to you by the Charleston International Airport. And then 3 games tonight. It'll end with Las Vegas playing host to a Detroit City side that has been on a lot of travel. There's also a game at 11 p.m. Eastern. It is Phoenix Rising and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That is all presented by the Charleston International Airport. It is halftime here from Charleston, and our score is Charleston 1 and Memphis 0.
Hi, I'm Rob Salvatore, and I'm the chairman of the Charleston Battery.
Hey, I'm Jamie Lentz. I'm the chef partner of Fifth Street Group and Tempest Restaurant.
We came up with this program, Goals for Gardens.
I had the idea to donate $100 for every goal scored by the Battery this season.
That led us to the Green Heart organization.
My name is Jesse Blum. I'm the Executive Director of the Green Heart Project. We build school and community gardens for purpose of education and purpose of building a sense of community around healthy food and healthy activity.
To prepare it, please. Can I get, okay? We're supporting a farmer who's local to us, who lives in our community.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes. We want the best. We riding every night. Won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky. Got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
New flavors, the same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador, spiked bebidas.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
News and notes in the USL Championship. Some big news out of Monterey Bay as former Premier League defender Jordan Stewart. He is the club's new head coach, taking over for Frank Yallop. And how about the U.S. Women's National Team? They're coming to Louisville, Casey.
I know, isn't that going to be great just to have them back straight off a gold medal victory today? It's going to be exciting to see them back in Louisville.
And the July Coach of the Month is Dennis Sanchez. They are on a club record unbeaten streak of 10 games. They play Detroit City later on tonight. Let's take a look back at the goal and the save of the week.
Goodrum's over the ball. Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a go. What a lasso from Edwin Lasso. And Tulsa has the lead early in the second half.
It's a good knockdown by Hyndman to Vaquero.
Fernando gets around the defender, one-on-one, and another great pick save by Wade.
Some good performances across the USL Championship. Khalil Al-Medkar is the player of the week. Mario Sanchez of Tulsa, the coach of the week. And plenty of Charleston players on this list. And for good reason, they're in great form.
They really have been. And Emilio Acaza has really had to come into that role even more so with Malloy going out, just playing really well right now.
Jamali Wade, he got that save of the week, denying Luis Fernando of Memphis 901. We are at the break from Charleston. It's a 0-0 in favor of the Battery. We will have the second half from Patriots Point on the way.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson. And Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
Is for the way you look. Oh, is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat, because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
Highlights from the first 45 minutes of action, the Charleston Battery and Memphis 901. It took Charleston some time to get into this game, but they did eventually about 15 minutes in.
This was their first real chance off the head of Graham Smith coming forward. The center back does really well, but a great save from Henry. And then the 20th minute, as Memphis would continue to build into the game, this was a great save forced from Lapa on this long distance shot. Grinwith just gets up, pushes it over the crossbar, and keeps Charleston in the game. And in the 37th minute, an attack right here from the Battery, and a second yellow given for this handball from Turchi as the ball looks like it's going to go in behind, and that would really change the course of things.
Turchi sent off. It is a USL Championship leading 6th red card for Memphis this season. Didn't take long for Nick Marcanic to punish Memphis.
Right here in attacking transition, they win the ball in the wide space. It's Torres who turns, quick look, and just puts this on an absolute dime. And look at this finish. One touch to control, second touch, it's in the back of the net from Marcanic. It's just a great finish, and they capitalize right away.
His 21st goal of the season, and Nick Marcanic has scored now 9 goals in his last 8 matches. Another great run for Marcanic. Our Heineken stats, it may look very even, but it is really swung in favor of Charleston lately.
It has, right towards the end of that half after the red card. A lot of possession for the Battery at 57%, but a lot of it was in their own defending half. And then as the half went on, they started to establish that possession a little higher. But as you can see, even though they got the 8 shots, Memphis had already gotten 8 shots as well. 2 of them on frame to Charleston's 3. But a pretty even game overall. The separation is that great goal from Marcanic.
We are getting set for the second 45 minutes of action. Memphis, they've been one of the better teams in the first half scoring goals. So Charleston, they do have a few more goals in that first half. Doesn't really matter what half you're playing. Charleston has been dangerous this entire season. The sun has set. The lights have taken full effect here at Patriots Point as we are set for the second 45 minutes of action. And a big second half on the way for this Charleston side. Go back to last week. Ben Pierman said, well, we were okay in the first half, but the second half is really when we kicked on.
And they just started to get more and more energy in that game and had those 5 unanswered goals. But what I think's been as equally impressive for the Charleston Battery, besides a few games, they really don't give up goals. And they're really stingy defensively. And usually you find a team that's in the attacking form that they're in. There's gaps, there's areas that they can get exposed in because they play this high-risk system. But Charleston is very organized underneath their attack, and it's really hard for teams to get back in games. So I think this will be really interesting to see what Memphis does to try to make them uncomfortable being a player down.
And a game for Charleston against Tampa Bay a few weeks ago. I know you were on the call for that one. That was the first time all season they've given up more than 3 goals in a game. They've really only given up 2 goals a game here or there. They gave 2 up to Hartford, 2 up to North Carolina a few weeks back, but they won that game 5-2. So they really are good on both ends. That's why they're the second most points in the league.
Yeah, and it was a little strange versus the Rowdies. They gave up a penalty kick right before half, and then they gave up a quick goal in the second half. Then all of a sudden it's 2-2, and they get a red card themselves. So things can change really quickly, but it looks like Charleston has learned from that with the way they bounced back versus Indy 11. They didn't score right away, but they stayed stingy.
5 goals scored in the second half last week for Charleston against Indy. That was a full 11 for Indy 11. Tonight, it's a 10-man Memphis. We'll see what Charleston has coming out of the gates as we get this second half underway tonight with the former U.S. Women's National Team midfielder Casey White. I'm Josh Eastern. Glad you can be with us here at Patriots Point in Mount Pleasant. Here's Segbers and Akaza having to lunge in for that. It's turned over. Segbers and Ward both came off the field for a moment, and then it's turned right back to Charleston. Torres floating through the middle, and Tristan Henry at the top of his area comes to claim it. New attacking options available off the bench for Memphis. The likes of Panos Armanakis, who has played once since coming over from Phoenix Rising, and John Beccaro, another former Phoenix Rising player. He was signed just a few weeks ago. A couple of appearances for Beccaro. Both Beccaro and Armanakis available on the bench tonight. Dylan Borzak as well. And already one sub made in this game, with Carson Vom Steeg entering for the looked to be injured Emerson Heineman. That was after that red card. Here's Luis Fernando, just trying to keep possession alive. Gets it to Akeem Ward. His cross is blocked. And a corner kick here for Memphis. A positive start to the second half.
And it really is. And already you can see from Memphis that they're going into a 3-back when they're in possession of the ball. So it looks more like a 3-5-1 going forward. And that is just bringing Lapa a little further back, which would get him on the ball more. And they generate a great opportunity out of it.
Here is Bruno Lapa, the Pepper Law Firm corner kick. Lapa delivers near post. That won't get it done. Akeem Ward. Lapa floats it across. A header down. Knight Pickering on the turn. Pickering's shot is wide. Not the cleanest of connections from the youngster.
And not the most dangerous serves that were brought in, but this one does drop down, able to get an opportunity, but just nothing to test Grinwis. But if you're Memphis, you want to try to capitalize early before Charleston can figure out how you've changed your tactical attack, how you're trying to build out, and they were able to get forward. But the longer it goes on, it's going to be easier for the Battery to figure out how to set up defensively against them.
It already looked like in the end of the first half that Charleston was settling in nicely against the 10 men of Memphis. If you're Charleston, do you change anything differently to go up against 10?
No, I wouldn't. You just want to make sure that you kind of just stay involved and stay hungry and relentless, because it can be easy to kind of drop off a little bit and just think it's going to happen. They still have to try to get forward as much as possible, especially early on. You can tighten up defensively later on in the half if it's still just 1-0. But right now, continue to go for it, play players forward, and tire out this Memphis team.
As we mentioned, they have experienced Charleston playing against 10 men. Hartford a few weeks ago in the 2-2 draw where they came back from 2-0 down. And then it was the 5-2 win against North Carolina at the end of June. That was when MD Myers scored that hat trick. And again, all of the goals coming in the second half. So that's 2 games this season, which they've scored 5 goals in the second half.
And so you expect that they can do that, absolutely. It's just been a little underwhelming from just the speed of play standpoint.
Maybe something on from Memphis. Ward coming into the attack. Akeem Ward plays it towards the top of the area. Came all the way through. Appeals for handball. Now to the end line, it stays in play. Chance to cut this back. The shot is in! Samuel Carriaga equalizes for 10 men Memphis.
And we were just talking about this. They have to capitalize early because Charleston just wasn't ready to deal with their personnel shift. Ward gets in this wide area, plays it across. There's appeals for a handball right here, and I'm not surprised for it. I'm surprised it's not called, but they keep playing, so credit to Memphis. Really good here in possession, and Carriaga just able to put it away with the left-footed strike. But I love how Memphis just continues to play in this moment, even after the appeals for the handball.
And you could see the reactions from the bench, from his teammates. You get that appeal for a handball, so everybody's already riled up, and then you score the goal. It makes it all worth it in the end. Samuel Carriaga, his 5th goal of the season. The 21-year-old Argentine acquired from Lanús last season on an 18-month loan. And he has been a force in the midfield, partnering with Zach Duncan this year. And now Memphis is level here in Charleston, and now something for the Battery to think about, as chances haven't necessarily been there in the quantity we've seen in prior weeks.
No, it really hasn't. And I think a lot of it stems from just how quickly they're moving the ball. It's not quick enough. And so Memphis is able to shift, they're able to defend, and they're able to go on the attack.
Turned over, Carriaga, the goal scorer. Why not have another? And Grinwis makes the save. Great stop from Adam Grinwis, a corner kick for Memphis.
My goodness, you don't see a much better save than this one. Carriaga just tests Grinwis here. It's low, it's quick, it's hard, and he parries it past that post, but just driving into the space. Why not? You just scored a beauty earlier. Go for a second and earns the corner kick.
Pepper Law Firm corner. Those are some of my favorite shots. They're 6 inches off the ground.
They're so hard to deal with.
And you know that's when you hit it as clean as you can.
You're right.
Now, Charleston having to deal with another corner kick. Memphis coming out of the break flying. Maybe a bit of a shock to the system from a Charleston perspective. Carriaga, a whistle came first. They'll have to do this again. Another chance for Memphis to whip this in on the corner. The delivery headed away. They'll do it again. Another Pepper Law Firm corner kick. Stephen Glass has to be very pleased with his team coming out of the break, down a man, some adversity on the road, not an easy place to play. They are getting the job done. Carriaga, as Duncan went down, this flicked all the way through, saved off the line, and then blocked out of play. Memphis should maybe have a second here. They'll have another corner kick.
My goodness, Segbers clears this off the line, and then it deflects off Graham Smith right there with the opportunity from Von Steeg. They think they have a second one here, but you'll see it right there, blocked first, and then that one just deflects off Graham Smith. Not happy with the defending in the penalty area, and I don't blame him.
Another chance from the corner kick. This time couldn't get it by the first man. Still a chance, Quezada. Shot blocked. And Keem Ward, the last man back for Memphis, he'll hold on to possession.
All right, Battery fans, we need you loud these final 40 minutes.
Loaded forward.
Let's keep the energy up. Let's hear you. Make some noise.
If you ask me which team was down a man, I'd probably say Charleston at this point.
100%.
Memphis all over them to start this second half.
And I really think a lot of it has to do with, one, there's this intentionality when you're down a player that you know you have to do more. You've got to make up for that. But also the tactical switch of them going to 3 in the back. I don't think the Battery has really adjusted to that well. They get both of their wing backs really high to join the attack, and you leave the one person in the 9. So they got to figure that piece out.
Now something coming forward for Charleston. This comes through. Chance for a second. Saved. Ikaza's shot deflected. It falls right to Arturo Rodriguez. Going down to the box, but MD Myers scores! That's more like it for the Charleston Batteries. They retake the lead at 2-1.
Well, they're extremely dangerous in that final third, the Charleston Battery. They find that wide space on the side of the outside back, and it's a really good space to get into right there. Does a great job to get inside. It's the first initial save from Henry, which is wonderful. Akaza tries to create something here, but they just continue to work it. What a ball right there from Rodriguez, and then Myers puts it away. I think Marcanic thought he would get a penalty. Gets a little push, but right here, really good taking that big first touch to prep the shot.
Well, the two guys that have been doing the majority of the goal scoring this year for Charleston, doing all of the goal scoring tonight. Nick Marcanic gets his 21st. MD Myers now with his 11th goal of the season. And a great first season for Myers here in the USL Championship continues.
You certainly can't deny the goal scoring from those two players, but what I really liked about that goal was Arturo Rodriguez. The ball across first time, just really excellent.
That'd be a bit of a surprising sub here with Nick Marcanic coming out of this game. And coming on is one of the newest signings, Jay Chapman, the 30-year-old, coming on loan from Hartford Athletic. He will come into this game tonight. All the way to the end line, it's forced back into the corner. This is Chapman's second match with Charleston. He played 19 minutes against Indy 11 last week.
MD 5.
A foul, Chapman getting right into this game. Player who's trying to fill some of that void in the middle without Aaron Malloy. Experienced player who's played in Major League Soccer and throughout the USL. Memphis maybe feel like they've been hard done by the officiating tonight. Free kick here for Memphis. Be right on the range of whether you can go for goal here or just send it in the box. Bruno Lapa. Lapa will go for goal, and Grinwis watches it sail past the post.
And I'm not surprised to see Lapa go for that one, and I think Charleston wasn't either, putting 4 in the wall. Previously, they had put 3 in the wall, but Lapa does go for this, trying to bend it into that near post space, but Grinwis knew that was going wide.
For now, order restored here at Patriots Point. I don't think it's the last we've heard of Memphis. They've still found some opportunities, but they'll have to try to lock down at the back here. Passing just off the mark from Charleston. Nifty turn in the middle. Luis Fernando trying to keep it. He's taken off the ball. It's Arturo Rodriguez. Lays it off for Chapman, who chips it forward. And this will skip out of play. The Battery have a brand new look on and off the field this year thanks to Hummel, the club's official jersey provider. Check out the full line of new Battery gear, including the custom 2024 kits, by visiting shop.charlestonbattery.com. the way back to Grinwis. Caught in a tough area, and eventually the whistle will bail out Samuel Carriaga.
It was a good reaction from Carriaga because he does lose it in an area that Charleston would be immediately on the counterattack and then eventually gets the foul. But I think having to slide Duncan into the back line for Memphis has made it hard for them because he was doing really well in the middle third, breaking lines with his passing, and now he's just not able to do that because he has to fill that different role after the red card.
Duncan, who has been such a key player for Memphis this year. He played 23 games. He's played in all of them. Charleston a chance to jump over Louisville temporarily. Currently, they're 2 points better than them, but have played 3 more games when you include this one tonight. Louisville kicking off in just moments against Sacramento Republic at Lynn Family Stadium. That game available on ESPN 2. Arturo Rodriguez or Jay Chapman tried the give and go and taken away by Carriaga. Trying to roll it through the middle and off the mark from Sissoko.
I like that look from Sissoko because Carriaga's high. They can break a line, actually 2 lines in midfield there, but it's very hard with the way Memphis is set up because they really have Lapa and Carriaga against 3 there in the center of midfield. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, and now Charleston's able to find that space.
Charleston looking to unlock this Memphis back line again. Torres trying to get end line, puts it across, and Henry holds on to it. Lapa back for Henry. Stieg to help Memphis out. Stieg. Carriaga, he was pulled back. A yellow card to Emilio Icaza.
Pretty straightforward yellow card in that moment because Carriaga had beaten that pressure in midfield. But I'll tell you what, for Memphis, they've looked pretty good for being a player down in possession. It is riskier at the back because it can become a 3v3 or a 4v3 in transition, but they've got to make those changes, and they've done well in possession, to be fair.
Memphis is trying to slow down this Charleston attack. It does not take them long to get going. You mentioned that twice this season they've scored 5 goals in a second half. The first time they did it, they were only the 16th team in USL history to do that. It's not come around too often, and they've done it twice in a season.
That's pretty impressive.
Trying to add on. D. Myers looking for that centering pass, broken up. Carriaga hands it off, and here comes Memphis. Duncan. There's one option ahead. It's Knight Pickering. Finds the option on the far side. Duncan continuing his run. Duncan's cross. Trying to find Pickering, and now Duncan, that long run forward, he'll have to run all the way back to get in a position. Got to pick your moments when your player as important as Zach Duncan. You want to get forward. You want to push the tempo, but at the same point, you got to be careful down a man.
And you can see why they want him to get forward and how much of a loss it is to have to push him further back, because he can have those penetrating runs, but you kind of do have to pick and choose your moments when you are down a player, and they'll certainly have to figure out, okay, when are the times that we can unsettle the battery? But the battery so far, I think, have shown some really good patience. They gave up that goal. They're showing patience in possession, and they're picking really good moments to go forward at speed on the dribble and try to provide some separation in this game.
Allen. Here's Jay Chapman. Chapman wants a hit. Deflected shot and out of play. A Pepper Law Firm corner kick coming for Charleston. Rodriguez coming over to take it. The 5th corner kick of the game for the Battery.
This is a Pepper Law Firm corner kick coming up for your Charleston Battery. Make some noise.
In swinger, played to the back post and over hit and out of play. Subs on the way, and 3 attack-minded subs. Noe Meza, Dylan Borzak, Panos Armanakis, all entering this game for Stephen Glass and Memphis. Talk about maybe some of those tiring runs and legs on the field, and Stephen Glass wants some fresh legs.
Well, it makes complete sense. You've got you're only down by 1 right now. Can you continue to take advantage of some of the opportunities you're getting going forward? You might as well go for it. Doesn't matter if it's 3-1, 4-1, right? You might as well go for that equalizing goal, and that's what he's showing with these substitutions.
Samuel Carriaga, the goal scorer, he comes out. Luis Fernando comes out as well, and so does Knight Pickering.
Armanakis. And coming in, number 77, Dylan Borzak.
The USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August. 8 teams across the country will begin play on August 17th, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. First game up, DC against Carolina. That will be 6:30 on Peacock on Saturday. Panos Armanakis, his 2nd appearance for Memphis since coming over from Phoenix Rising. And now trying to play out of the back. Memphis nearly gets caught, and Tristan Henry bails him out.
And Henry's done really well tonight. He's come up big when he's needed saves. Both goals that were scored on him were not anything really he could do about it, but he's had some big saves to keep him in it.
Akeem Ward. Now Panos Armanakis.
MD, watch 6. MD, watch 6.
The last game he played for Phoenix Rising was that 5-1 win for Memphis against Phoenix in Memphis. Then the first game he played for Memphis was last time out against El Paso. He played pretty much 2 straight games involving Memphis 901 with 2 different teams. This will stay in play for Akeem Ward. It's a similar situation as it was at 1-0. It's still just a 1-goal deficit. Memphis trying to hang in there. The longer this stays at a 1-goal deficit, you never know in the end.
Well, what's interesting is the Battery is showing a lot of patience defensively as well. They know they don't have to have the ball the whole time. They have the lead, but there's going to be pockets of space that they can look to counterattack into to try to get that third goal, because the longer this goes on, Memphis is going to have to throw more numbers forward.
Chance to come forward for Armanakis, and now Akeem Ward. Akeem Ward trying to get by Segbers. Cuts it back off the mark, looking for Armanakis. Turned over, Vomsteeg gives it right back. But Charleston couldn't keep it. Before Charleston's win last year in this series in August, it was a 1-0 win for Charleston. Memphis had won 3 straight. This is over the top, going down in the box. The referee waved it away immediately. Torres steps over a challenge from Armanakis. And now Allen.
We need to allow these last 20 minutes, Battery fans. Keep up that energy. It's been great all game long.
Driving in fields and moving it out wide. Dos Santos, cross in front. Comes all the way through for Rodriguez. Rodriguez trying to connect with Torres and out of play. Maybe a penalty shout back the other way.
And it was dangerous, this little clip ball in behind. It does look to have position, but went down a little easy. There was just contact over the shoulder, but definitely looking for the penalty in that moment. I can see why it was a no call, but Memphis is going to try to do anything they can to really get back in this. They've had some good possession, but you're starting to see Charleston as well find space wide. That's where they're really going to be able to expose Memphis when they're down a player.
Torres still. Torres scores! Pick that one out. Juan David Torres extends the lead to 3-1.
In the last few minutes, Torres has played off this right side. He's so cheeky coming inside. Look at that little dance, little celebration. You deserve it right there, Torres. He comes in. This is a great change of point. It makes Akeem Ward have to defend further back. He initially starts the play, goes again to his left foot, and Henry is caught cheating just a little bit. It dips at the right moment. Look at this. It goes up, comes down. That's incredibly hard to make a save on that shot, and he absolutely rips it to the near post.
A Battery goal with a sparkling finish is brought to you by Diamonds Direct. Torres now a goal contribution in 3 straight games. He had the soccer version of a Gordie Howe hat trick against Tampa Bay a few weeks ago. Yellow card, an assist, and a goal in that 4-2 loss, but that was a splendid strike from distance.
It really was, and he's done extremely well in the run of play as well, which I've really liked from his play these last few weeks, but to also get the goal and a great strike. But in this moment, it's really important to extend that lead.
So 3-1 now to Charleston. They are in command. But how did we get to this point for Charleston? Well, it was M&M, MD Myers, and Nick Markanek.
And Markanek starts everything off right here in the first half, and it's from Torres as well. Look at that ball. It's perfectly placed into the run of Markanek. It's an absolutely great finish, and he's got pressure right on his back, but only eyes for the ball. It's a great volley to the back post, and then MD Myers gets the initial opportunity, but the Battery organized the penalty box really well here. A great ball across from Rodriguez, and it's Myers again with the left foot and finish.
These dazzling plays brought to you by Diamonds Direct. 3-pack tonight for the Charleston Battery, and they are in command now at home and up a man. We were just talking a few minutes ago about how Memphis can keep this a 1-goal deficit. They might have a chance to nick one at the end, but it's going to be a long hill to climb from here.
It really is, and it sometimes gets underestimated how important that third goal is, or the separating goal that gives the 2-goal lead in these kind of moments, because when these teams have one player less, they always have an opportunity and optimism that they're gonna go, we can get a set piece, we can get a corner, we can have one moment to get a tie out of here on the road, but it really just kind of closes the door. It would take something really miraculous to try to get back in it.
It is now multiple goals in 8 straight games for Charleston. They have scored multiple goals in 14 of their 24 games. And they're still not the highest scoring team in the league. That's the team they're chasing in Louisville.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it? Both of those teams scoring so many goals. And when you have those high-scoring games, too, they've shown that they can win lower-scoring games as well because their defensive work, their back line, their goalkeeping has also kept them in games. So it's really nice, though, to allow that pressure taken off your back line when you can score as much as they do.
There's going to be 6 other teams in the East that are going to try to prevent it, but I can't say we're not on a collision course between Charleston and Louisville for a 2nd straight season in the Eastern Conference Final. And I guess if you want to watch that game, you can just tune in next week. That's when they'll be playing. Turned over, Memphis. Can they get one back? Played into the corner, and that's where being down a man is going to hurt just a little bit. Here comes Charleston again. Trying to keep their foot on the gas, as Ben Pierman talked about from last week. The header out of the path of Torres, but he's still able to track it down. Going to play this through for MD Myers, and Tristan Henry comes to claim it. Turned over, and maybe another look at goal. Henry makes the save, and then Henry has to dispose of this out of play. Just a quick strike attack after the turnover.
Really good vision here right at the top of the box from MD Myers. Very unselfish, playing that ball to the back post area. It's Chapman that's not able to put it away, but it's a great save from Henry.
Another Pepper Law Firm corner kick. Number 6 of the game for the Battery. And subs on the way.
Substitution for the Charleston Battery in the 70th minute. Coming in, number 3, Josh Drack.
Is Josh Drack entering the game along with Jackson Conway.
And coming in, number 36, Jackson Conway.
Prince Sadie also entering this game. A triple sub with Juan David Torres, MD Myers, and Arturo Rodriguez all exiting. I think all the players on the field coming off now have made their presence felt. Myers, Rodriguez, Marcanic came off earlier, and Torres. This just shows some of the depth of the Battery now as Chapman sends it in and over everybody's head, nothing doing.
Well, and I think that's something we haven't really talked about is when you come and take care of a game like this, you're able to rest some of your players with a really important game coming up with a lot of minutes on these players. They did their job, and so now you're able to get them out with capable players coming in, being able to close out the game. 15, 20 minutes might not seem like that long, but it is over the course of a season, so you try to get those players some rest if you can.
The referee didn't like where Panos Armanakis took that free kick. Now Memphis get it rolling again. It's the Memphis team as of late that have been in defensive battles. 3 of their last 4 games finished at a 1-0 scoreline. 2 of those were wins. One of them a loss against Tulsa, and then the draw 0-0 against El Paso. Here's Sadie. Prince Sadie, the centering feed. Just enough defensive pressure from Sissoko.
And you can see the isolation in the wide area from Sadie on that, and it's Drac coming across for the finish. But this is really good 1v1 isolation. Sadie just decides to take that touch, have some separation there, plays it back across, gets it from that near post defender. Drac just not able quite to get there.
Make some noise, stop your feet.
Pepper Law Firm corner kick. And Kaza delivers. The header looping, and Henry bats it away. At full stretch, Tristan Henry gets it out. And now Memphis look to counter with Borzak. He's the only white shirt in the picture. Still.
Well, to be fair, that was a defending corner kick, so there was a lot of ground to cover. Borzak with a lot of energy coming in off the bench, but does well just to hold it up in possession.
Armanakis, that is miss-hit.
All right, Battery fans, 10 minutes left. Keep up that energy. It's been great all game long.
And this is a great corner kick right here. It's Graham Smith rising above. Look at that save from Henry. Graham Smith has had 2 opportunities in this game off the head. If not for Henry and that one, that might have gone in. It may have hit the post, but it was incredibly close from the center back.
Can't take any chances. An interesting stretch of games upcoming for Memphis. 3 of the next 4 will be on the road. They play midweek against Miami. That is at Miami on Wednesday. It's Charleston trying to keep possession. Memphis will get it out. Then they'll go to the West Coast in a couple of weeks. They'll take on Oakland and then another midweek game against Colorado Springs. Then they don't play for 2 weeks. So these next 4 games going to be crucial for Memphis to try to stay where they are in the Western Conference. It is so tight. They're currently in 3rd place, but the 8th place team, which is the last playoff spot, is at 27 points. So a couple of games and all of a sudden you could be fighting for your playoff life.
In the previous 5 games, 3 of those were on the road as well for Memphis. So a pretty tough stretch for them as they go through this part of the schedule. But you're right, the standings are so incredibly tight. Not a lot separating those teams.
5 home games remaining for Memphis. One against Tulsa next weekend, a couple in September, and then 2 more in October. Play it towards the touchline. Allen goes to ground. Played in behind, Jackson Conway's in, and Tristan Henry again. He has made some big saves tonight, and now Akaza is tripped. Free kick to Charleston.
And Conway is not happy after this one. This is a great little use of the body right there. Gets a fortune of a touch on that one, but it's a great save from Henry, and he's just been spectacular in the game for being down 3-1.
Sub coming for the Battery. This is their last sub of the game. Coming out is Emilio Akaza. Coming in is the 31-year-old Scotsman in Robbie Crawford. Akaza maybe wanted to stand over this free kick, but he will not get the chance to do that.
We did draw the foul there, so I can understand that. And that's a true center midfielder, wants to be on the ball. He's covered a lot of ground. He does a lot of work on both sides of the ball for this Charleston team, and he's really had to put in a lot of effort here today.
Ben Pierman said, when you talk about selflessness, there isn't a player that can speak of it more than Emilio Akaza. He's playing in a bit of a different role now with Aaron Malloy out, but as you mentioned, he was an integral part tonight for Charleston.
And Ben Pierman said that's a pillar of what they want to be, is that selflessness piece.
Now the free kick. Josh Drack will take it off the wall. Chapman, and into the arms of Tristan Henry. Give Memphis a lot of credit in this game. Not over yet, and they've been playing down a man for now close to 40 minutes. But still, they have more shots than Charleston, higher expected goals. They've still threatened, but it really plays into it when they're down a man, how difficult it is to play against this Charleston side with so many weapons.
And I really like seeing what their coaching staff did. There's a couple trains of thought. You could sit in and keep it at 1-0 for as long as possible and look to counter or look for just a moment of breaking out in transition, maybe a set piece. But they made a different train of thought happen where they came out with a completely different system, put players higher up the field, and had that element of surprise with Charleston and were able to get that first goal. But the Battery just adjusted and had some really timely finishing. But I like what Memphis did in that moment, trying something a little bit different than just sitting back.
Well, you said it, try to attack them quickly before they really know what's going on. That's what they did. They got the early goal, but Charleston 2 unanswered since.
Yeah, and I think they know Charleston can establish possession, so if you just sit back and wait, they're going to do that. They can move the ball side to side and really isolate you, so why not go with the element of surprise? And I think it paid off for a short amount of time. They just weren't able to keep that going against such a talented Battery team.
Charleston came into tonight with the highest average possession per game. They're currently just under that. They're at 55.5%. They average about 57% of the ball game in, game out, which is an impressive number in its own right. Moved out wide. Drack delivers. Crawford lunging to get his head onto it. He keeps it in play. Segbers for Crawford, who delivers again, and the header away. Dos Santos for Drack. Josh Drack, always going wide.
It's just a bit of box organization right there. It's still good attacking from the Battery, but too many players making the same run. No one going to that back post area, but I like the thought process from Drack.
Devin Rensing about to go 2 for 2 in his 2 weeks, filling in for Ben Pierman, who is suspended. And as of now, outscoring opponents 8-1. And 2 teams that are towards the top of the standings in their respective conferences. Indy 11, they ripped off a major win streak in the middle of the season. And then this Memphis side that has reached up to 3rd in the Western Conference. Too much dancing on the ball from Drack, and it's turned over. Foul will go Memphis's way. This will be just the 4th loss in the last 15 games for Memphis. They've gone 8-3-3 over their last 14. And some of the best form in the league.
Well, I think they'll feel a little bit hard done by with the way things happen with the red card, the double yellow from Turchi. That was really difficult to take in, and they tried to bounce back. They did what they could, but when you're playing one of the top teams in the entire league, you need things to go your way, and it started that way and just did not end that way in the first half.
Armanakis tripped. Armanakis telling everybody to get forward here. Armanakis delivers. Good service and headed away. Armanakis will deliver once more. This time Borzak met it as it loops out of play. USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Ball did go out of play. Throw in on the way for Memphis. It's 3 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Of additional time, 3 minutes. Stoppage time is brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. And a reminder, fans.
Turned over, Allen. A chance to shoot for Josh Drack. Batted away, and the rebound is skied by Crawford.
And I think Drack had more time than he realized at the top of the penalty area. Chris Allen steps in, wins this in transition, immediately finds Drack, goes for it, it gets blocked, saved, and Crawford just not right with his body there in that, trying to take it with his left foot in the first touch.
Memphis has flirted with danger a few times, but Tristan Henry, he has put in an A+ performance tonight, even conceding the 3 goals. 6 saves tonight for Tristan Henry, just his 3rd start since coming in from Forge FC in the Canadian Premier League. Stephen Glass in his press conference did shout out the goalkeepers that Tristan Henry has been solid as of late. Tyler Derrick was also pretty good, as he was the #1 at the start of the season, but Henry, it seems like he is the one as of late. As the flag comes up for offside. Don't forget, still 4 more games to kick off tonight across the USL Championship, and then 1 currently on ESPN2 is Louisville 1 and Sacramento 0. That's 20 minutes in. A player down. It's Akeem Ward. Knock you don't want to pick up at this stage in the game with this scoreline. Get to the finish line.
Definitely not, and he's had a good game, I think, for Memphis here. Got done a lot going forward, a lot having to go back defensively once they did go down a player, but I think he's been a bright spot for them.
Shot from distance, and nothing for Grinwis to do on that one. Noe Meza trying his luck. Shouldn't be too much longer left in this one tonight. That is full time. It's 3 goals and 3 points for the Charleston Battery. Victorious tonight at home as they take down Memphis 901 by 3 goals to 1.
And the Battery did extremely well. They really withstood a lot of pressure early on from Memphis, and when they needed to capitalize, they did some great goals and some great performances.
Devin Rensing, former Memphis assistant, with some handshakes for some of his former players and those that he knows on the other side. And in the end, Juan David Torres is our man of the match, presented by Heineken. His goal, one of the better ones of the night.
It really was. It's a great strike off the left foot. Also had the assist, but honestly, even off the stat sheet, Juan Torres just did so well in the run of play.
Well, we will come back and wrap things up tonight from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Our full-time score is brought to you by Wicked Weed. It reads Charleston 3 and Memphis 1. Stay with us.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete. You're obsessed. You're in love. You're in pain. Spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity. Because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, me quedo ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Superior.
Final score is brought to you by Wicked Weed. Charleston 3 and Memphis 1. 3 more points for the Battery as they chase down Louisville City in the Eastern Conference. Our full-time highlights are presented by Michelob.
Back, it's dispossessed in the middle third, and then it's Juan David Torres just taking off, finding this back post run of Marcanic. A great first touch and an excellent finish there in the 41st minute.
Goal number 21 of the season for Nick Marcanic. He'd be subbed off in the second half, but come the second half, Memphis, they came out on the front foot.
They really did. There was a lot of organization around the box. Appeals for a handball there initially from Graham Smith, but they continue playing. It's Quezada, Sissoko, and then right here, Carriaga has a great finish with the left foot to tie it up.
So the equalizer in the 50th minute. 6 minutes later, though, it was another goal for Charleston.
MD Myers uses his body extremely well, and it kind of looks like just the same thing on this end. A lot of chaos in the box, but they continue playing. Rodriguez gets it across. Marcanic goes down. MD Myers is the recipient of that ball coming right to his feet. A great first touch and a great finish.
MD Myers, his 11th goal, and for good measure, why not one more for a man of the match?
Well, this one is extremely important. It provides separation. Torres comes out on this right side, gets on his left foot that he favors, and look at this strike. It catches Henry off guard, dips down right at the perfect moment to make it 3-1.
Our full-time stats, both teams finished with the same amount of shots, but it was really the shots on target. That was the big difference.
It really was. 10 out of the 19 on target for the Battery. And actually what's interesting is Memphis got a little bit of possession back, being down a player. It was 57% in the first half, then 55% to Charleston in the second half. And pretty even on corner kicks as well.
Well, that will do it for our coverage tonight from Mount Pleasant and Patriots Point. The Charleston Battery, they're creeping closer to 50 points in the USL Championship already. Another big win tonight. For our entire crew and broadcast partner Casey White, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Patriots Point. Our Wicked Weed full-time score, Charleston 3 and Memphis 1. Good night from the Low Country.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.